Welcome to the Roadrunner 89 Investment Network, where we talk about interracial love and marriage. Hope you enjoy Swirl to Investment. All right, welcome everybody. Happy Saturday. Um, this show is earlier than most of my shows. um, I want to say hi to everybody. Hope you're having a good weekend. Um, Took a little bit of a break from YouTube. Felt really good, but it feels good to be back here this evening. Finally got a Saturday off. It's been a little bit of a while, but it's good to see everybody. Good to see you, Winnie, and Clearly Enchanted, Gina, lovely one. Good to see you, young ladies, and everybody watching. Those that support me, those that hate me, and everybody else. Welcome to tonight's show. Hey, Noleti, good to see you. Tonight, okay, or this evening, it's still daylight. You see how bright it is in this room. But I want to talk about something, okay? Swirl to investment, okay, opening up your options, and also race relations, okay? I'm going to show you some TikToks. I'm going to give you my perspective on these topics. Some of the videos I'm going to show, I'm just going to warn you, they might be a little triggering, okay? I'm not doing this to upset nobody or, bash anybody by no means, okay? We're human beings. We're flawed. We make mistakes, okay? I want to point out some things that are going on, and I want people to think about opening up your options, about coming together, okay? And then I want to talk about race relations, okay? When we swirl to investment, does race relations have to be really good for us to do that? I say no. We live our life the way we want to, regardless of what black people and white people are doing, and that's how I live my life as an individual. And we should never be judged in the collective, but be judged for what we do, good and bad. But this is a triggering topic, okay? And I want to be as respectful as I can and be as honest as I can and, talk about these things. And I'm not always right. Sometimes I'm wrong. Okay. We're human. But anyway, I'm going to show some people you probably don't agree with. And just because I show a video does not mean I agree with these people, okay? And it don't mean I disagree either. Okay, I'm just showing to give some thought and have a little bit of a discussion. If you want to come up later after I show these videos and talk about them and give your perspective on it, on what you think. And, yeah, I'll open it up for that. But before we get started, I showed it once before. Okay, I'm going to show it again. Fair use, okay? Copyright disclaimer. We're going to use these videos, whether TikToks, for under the copyright disclaimer, fair use for news reporting, teaching. Hopefully we can learn something. Life's an education, right? Sometimes we think we're right and we find out we're wrong. Sometimes it could go the other way. Okay. But this is what this show is for tonight. It's for learning. It's about teaching, reporting. Okay. And yes, we're using other people's videos, other people's material, but under the guidance of fair use. Okay. And, I want to have a discussion about this. I know it's a triggering topic, and a lot of times we don't like to talk about race, right? Or racial issues, and, it's uncomfortable too. Okay. But it's part of life. Okay. And especially if you're in an interracial relationship, race is going to be thrown in your face. And if you can't deal with that, well, you shouldn't interracially date because it's part of life. You're going to be called a racist, a fetishizer, a clan member, whatever they say. I've been called so many names. And the crazy thing is when I started dating Black women, it seemed like I was called more of a racist than when I wasn't dating. It's weird. We've heard crazy things. And people got their opinions, and people, and Black women especially, you get, shamed and attacked when you open up your options. You've been called a sellout, a self-hater, a bed wench, all this horrible things. Okay. And white men, we get bashed too for doing it, but not as bad as Black women do. But there's still people that don't like it. And me, I don't care. Okay. My preference has always been Black women. My heart belongs to Black women. And I've said this, and people have asked me. They have said, well, do you find other women beautiful besides Black women? I say, yes, I do. But women are beautiful, okay, regardless of what racial group they belong to, okay? I do find all women beautiful. Let me just put that out there. But there's something about Black women, okay? And people say, would you, how come you don't date other groups of women? Why didn't you do that? And I says, well, I would have if the love from Black women wasn't so awesome, wasn't so good. And I mean that. And Black women have touched my heart in a way that no other woman has. I'm just saying. Okay. It don't mean I hate other women, because I don't. Okay. That's me. And I've been blessed by Black women my whole life. Now, has there been Black women that hate me and done me wrong? Sure. Okay. People are flawed. There's good and bad in all groups. Okay. But, I chose my path, and it's worked out amazing for me. Okay. I've had great experiences with dating, and, and to my marriage. Now, people say, well, dating Black women is always great. No, but most of the time, yes. Okay. I've had 2 relationships, before I got married with Black women that didn't turn out good. It was toxic. It was a mess, but it just shows people are flawed. And I would tell Black women, I had one Black woman say, well, I dated a white man and it was awful and I'll never do it again. And I said, how many did you date? 1. Okay. How many Black men have you dated in your life? Well, that's in my community. Okay. People are flawed. Okay. You got to vet. Okay. I found out that the hard way. Okay. People are flawed. But from my experience and from the data, the statistics, Black women are the best option. Hands down. Okay. I know people hate me for saying that. but it's true. I've lived it. Plus, the data backs up what I say. Okay. And I encourage people to open up their options, especially Black women. Okay. You're outnumbered in the Black community by over 2 million. Okay. So, and you're the least likely to date and marry out. So, if you want to be married, you might have to go outside your racial group. And that's not a bad thing. Okay. There are good men in all groups. Okay. Just like there's bad men. And, there are men out there that would love the opportunity to date a Black woman. Okay. There are a lot of white men that would love that. And other groups of non-Black men that would love the opportunity. A lot of them don't think they have that opportunity. Okay. And because of, race relations in the past and slavery and all that stuff, and then fast forward to today, as white men, we're blamed for all that stuff. So we tend to have a belief that Black women aren't interested in us generally. Okay. Now, a lot of us know that there's women in each group that would love us. Okay. And there's ones that would hate us. That's life. But some don't think they have a chance with Black women. Okay. And Black women are very reluctant to open up their options. Okay. A lot of Black women, they might not be attracted to no other man but a Black man. Okay. That's there, or they might feel guilty dating outside of a race, especially with white men. Okay. There's guilt there. Okay. And it shouldn't be that way. We should just, come together with someone that loves us, that we love, and build from there. Okay. We can't help what happened in the past. We're here today, and we just got to do the best with what we got. But anyway, like I said, some of this stuff's going to be triggering. Okay. And I don't mean it to be. I just kind of listen to what they're saying. Okay. All right. And if there's white people out there watching on this channel and they start talking about white supremacy, don't get it caught in your feelings. Just listen. Take it for what it is. Okay. And Black people, if you feel white people don't understand you, just understand we don't understand what you go through. So, we got to have that, I guess, understanding that we're not perfect. Okay. Okay. But like I said, if I show you somebody that's a YouTube content creator, a TikToker, that don't mean I agree with them. That don't mean I support them. Okay. I'm just doing this for thought, to get an opinion. I want to know what you think about this stuff. Is it true? Is it silly? Is it false? Okay. And look, we don't all agree. I don't expect people that follow me to agree with everything I say. That would be stupid. There is, it's a good thing to have different thoughts, different ideas. And we might not see things eye to eye. And that's okay. Okay. But anyway, let me show you. Okay. I want to talk about interracial relationships first and kind of go there, and then we'll go to the race relations, generalization, stereotypes, and racism and perceived racism or white supremacy. Okay. In today's world, there's so many definitions for white supremacy. I don't even know what that is anymore. I always thought it was just white people that had a collective ideology that believed they're superior above all people, but I've heard things like, if you're uncomfortable talking about racism, then you're a white supremacist. You don't like talking about racism, you're a white supremacist. If you're an individual, you're a white supremacist. If you tell somebody to be to work on time, you're a white supremacist. There's so many things, and it just it's not basic anymore. It's like it could be anything, and it floats all around. And anyway, but there is white supremacy out there. There's black supremacy. There's Asian supremacy. There are people that believe they're superior because of who they are. We should not think that way, but we live in a world that that's corrupt. Okay, and people are corrupt. All right. Okay, let me start with the first one. Okay, now you guys heard about the marriage stats, right, between black women and white men. Okay, and people ask me, "Where'd you get that stats? You came up with that?" And I tell them where I got it. The research, from Pew Research, from the U.S. Census. There's other studies out there, and for some people, it's triggering to say black women and white men were the best option for each other. And I say that. And I don't say it because I believe I'm above anybody. Okay. I don't believe that at all. But I don't believe I'm below anybody either. I'm just a man in this world competing. Okay. Trying to make my way in life. Whether it's for competing for employment, education, dating, marriage. I mean, I'm in this world too, just like you, and we're trying to do better, right? Anyway. Okay. Let me see. All right. Now, I showed you a white woman talking about marriage stats, right? Between black women and white men being the most successful, longest lasting, right? And I try to find somebody of different racial groups that say the same thing, that looked in the same, found the same evidence I did. Because if it's just me saying it and some other white people saying it, they'll think, oh, that's just white supremacy at work. No, it isn't. It just studies and relationships and marriages. Okay. But anyway, let me put this video up here. Okay. Some of the stuff will be funny, some will be triggering. Just look at it for what it is. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and put this one up here.
Right now, trigger warning. I had to bring it.
Okay, let me stop it there. All right. Now, he said the harsh truth about marriages for black women. Okay. This is a black man. He might be biracial, who knows? But definitely, we would consider him a black man, right? Looking at him. But anyway, listen to what he says. Okay.
All right, now, trigger warning. I had to bring up the Pimp Cane for this one because I know it's about to be a lot of y'all might have to get smacked because black men going to be real pissed. So let us pray the pimp's prayer. Lord, please don't let these Negroes get offended at the truth they about to hear. All right, let's move on. If you know where that reference is from, let me know down there in the comments below. People, do you know that the most divorced men in the marriage market are black men? Do you know that the least divorced marriages of all time, as it stands right now, are when a white male is married to a black woman? Do you know that according to the Pew Research Center, marriages between a black wife and a white husband are 44% less likely to end in divorce than a white wife or a white husband couple or a black wife, black husband couple over the same time period? Now, let me explain why this is so significant. Because the net of it is the white male is the most verbally assaulted and the most verbally bashed in his community. And the black female is the most verbally bashed, most verbally assaulted in her own community. There is a literal sort of understanding. There's some sort of unique understanding that white men and black women possess for one another, being these quote unquote burden bearers of the community. Black women are the uplifters and the stronghold of the black community. White men obviously are the backbone and the stronghold of the white community. Now that is a very interesting statistic. So it's looking like, based on the facts and the data, and of course I will expound upon this if this video gets to if this video gets 30,000 likes. Well, I won't even say 30,000. If this video gets 10,000 likes, I will do a full TikTok live on the actual data that demonstrates that right now for black women, if they want to get married, it is a better idea to expand and open up your options. It is literally a better idea, because the net of it is the statistics are proving the point that if a black woman marries a white male, their marriage is 44% less likely to end in divorce than the opposite. This is facts, data, statistics. So when you men get in my comments and you start doing sign language, I'm going to call your ass out the same way Kevin Samuels did. Shame, insults, guilt need to be right. Again.
Okay, let me stop right there. Okay. Now, 44% less chance of a divorce. That's 44% less chance of a divorce with a white man and white woman. If a white man chooses to marry a black woman, statistically, he has a 44% less chance of a divorce than two white people getting married, okay? And actually, a black couple, the percentage is even higher. It's like in the 50s, okay? So really, and this is true. These stats are true. And I want to elaborate on something, okay? Now, he's looking to it. You know, yeah, he does have a pimp cane, but I guess that's what it is. But you know, he's looking at the same numbers I am. Okay. And I don't know how he feels about interracial relationships. I don't know. Okay. But there's other people that are seeing this data. It ain't just something I just threw out numbers and said, hey, we're the best. And you know, everybody else sucks. No, I don't do that. Okay. And look, I want everybody to have a successful marriage. Okay. And I don't think I'm better because I have a longer marriage than most people. Okay. Me and my wife, we did it the right way. We love each other, and we always put our love above any problems we have. And that's how we make it. Okay. And that thing about black women and white men being attacked within our community, yes. Okay. And we're expected to make things happen. We are the power structure. And when we come together, okay, we do get better treatment from each other. Yes, I'll say it. Black women do treat white men better than white women. Please go ahead and hate me for that, but it's the truth. I'm talking about black women that love white men. I'm not talking about the pro-black women that hate white people. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the black women that will open up their options and date and marry you. They will treat you better generally than white women, Asian women, other groups of women. There's that mutual respect we have for each other, black women and white men. We appreciate the love we give to each other. And that's why our love is strong. That's why our marriages last longer. Okay? Now, not every black woman, white man marriage is going to make it. Okay? But statistically, we do better than everybody else as it stands now. Okay? So he is absolutely right. And having that appreciation goes a long way. Okay. When I was dating, I remember black women that were appreciated the fact that I paid for the date, that I paid for the dinner, and they appreciated that I wasn't looking for nothing after the date. I wasn't looking to go back to their place or my place or any of that crap. Okay. They appreciated that respect. And I appreciate the love and respect I got back. Okay. you know, and these videos you see on YouTube and TikTok of black women. Oh, I got to eat at the most expensive, and you got to do 10,000 things. Most black women are not like that. Okay. But they do want to be treated like they're special. They want to be treated like a lady, like they deserve to be treated. Okay. They don't want you to take the discount date. They want you to put some effort. Okay. Black women are generally pretty reasonable. Okay. Black women are loving, and they most of the time give you the benefit of the doubt. They really do. Okay. But anyway, let's play this through. It's almost over. And we'll talk about it.
And this video gets 10,000 likes, I will do a full expose. I will do a full TikTok live on this topic. Interracial marriage needs to become a just as normal as race internal for the black community. If we want to be successful, the name of the game is marriage, marriage, marriage. At the end of the day, because marriage is the most beneficial thing for our children, which is the reward of a good marriage. You dig?
Okay, we dig. You dug, we digging. Okay, listen. Okay, I like what he said. Okay, that we need to make interracial marriages a norm, just like same race marriages. We need to make it like we just do it. Nobody should have a problem with it. Nobody should be shamed or attacked because you're with somebody outside of your racial group or ethnicity. You find love, that's a blessing. That's a beautiful thing. And we should uplift that. Okay? It should be a norm. Okay? And really, he said something interesting too. You know, for the black community, you got to open up your options. So does that mean us white men helping out the black community? And does that sound crazy, or does that sound about right? Help out and open up our options and love and marry black women, giving black women more options. Maybe white people should participate, white men, Asian men, other groups of men. Sounds right to me. I'm just saying. Hey, Carolyn Taylor, good to see you. I mean, what do you think? Should it be a norm? Should we stop shaming people that interracially date? Because look, I support interracial dating and marriage across the board, whether it's white men, black men, white women, Chinese and Hispanic, whoever finds love. Okay, that's your choice anyway. That's your right as a human being to be with whoever you want to be with. Okay. But anyway, what do you think about his video? Do you think he believes what he said, or he's just getting views? Sounds like he's genuine. You know. But anyway, you make the call. All right. But I do agree with what he said, and it is true. We do have the longest lasting marriages, okay? And don't be ashamed to say it, okay? I'm not. If I offend you by saying black women and white men are the most successful in marriage, that's your problem, not mine. And if you want to prove me wrong, find the studies that prove me wrong. Okay? That's the best way to handle it. And if I'm right, you know, take it for what it's worth. And as an individual, make it become the best option. Okay? Just saying. Okay. All right. I'm not impressed. Okay. All right. Let me show another video. Okay. Let me see. All right, this guy's going to talk about black culture and marriage. Okay, and this is coming from a black man because I don't just want to hear what black women and white men say about this. I want to hear what others say. Okay? Wake me up when he's gone.
1992 up until today, then that's what we on.
Oh, sorry. All right, let's hear what he has to say.
I think the truth is why black men aren't committing to marriage as young. It's just that it's not a part of our culture. It's not a part of how we raised. It's not what's cool. What we're taught, how we move, what we think, what we wear, what we eat, what type of guns we like, it's all aligned with hip hop culture across the board. If rappers is saying fuck bitches get money from 1992 up until today, then that's what we on.
Okay. What do you think about what he said? The reason young black men aren't getting married because of the culture, because of hip hop culture, because of, you know, I'm just going to put it in respectful terms of sleeping with women and the guns you like, and that it's in the culture, that it's not cool to get married when you're young. That it's a boring thing. Is he a clown? I'm just saying. I mean, I think there's truth to that. I think, and maybe I'm wrong. Look, I don't know how a black man thinks, okay? But, you know, looking at things in observation, you know, and the low marriage rates and the player pimp culture, the hip hop culture, it just seems like he's actually telling the truth. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just something I think I'm seeing. But you let me know. What do you think? Why is marriages low in the black community? Why are the marriages least likely to be successful? Except when they get with white women. Then it's really bad. Then that's the worst. And I'm not going in on black men and white women. I'm just saying, statistically, they don't do as good. You know, maybe they need to build back a better swirl and try to get it right. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, okay. That's his perspective on the culture, why black men don't get married younger or later on in life. And I agree, it's a cultural thing. I think the culture needs to change. And I think it needs to change across the board. I think in our country, we need to go to an American culture, okay, to where we value family, marriage. Okay, not saying you have to get married, okay, that's your choice, but we value the traditions, the family, the husband, the wife. You know, I think we need to go more to a basic culture, a more conservative family type thing. I think we'd be better off across the board. Because society, marriage rates, you know, black women, white men are doing better than everybody, but even our marriages are going down. Okay, and I think it's a breakup within our culture, within our family, you know. But amazingly, black women, white men, we're getting better. Just saying. Okay. So what do you think? Is he right? Or is he just talking? Okay. Let's hear some black women talk about marriage, okay? Sorry, my table's a little loose here. It's kind of wobbly. All right. Okay, let me rewind this. This is why there are so many broken homes in the black community. Okay, let's hear what they have to say.
End goals, like, what do y'all want to be? Do you guys want to be somebody's wife? What do you want to be?
Yeah, see, we talk about that all the time on the show. Sometimes I don't really know if I necessarily want to get married.
Do you want to have kids?
I do want to have kids, but I'm not sure if I want to get married.
So why do you, this is my question.
Okay.
Why, do you want to have kids?
She always got hooked up, I ain't gonna drink. I got too much
shit to do.
But why? Okay, so you don't want to have kids. So, okay, you a different story. But you want to have kids, but you don't know if you want to get married. So that means that you already you're planning to already bring this child into and have a deficit in their life, right?
I mean, I feel like if I find the right person, we could get married. Sometimes I don't really have a lot of faith.
But do you have to find the right person to have the baby?
I do think I have to find the right person to have a kid, but I also feel like I'm in a position where I'm doing things for my own, so I would completely be okay with having to take on that responsibility by myself as far as financial shit go, if I have to.
I don't think that's okay.
I don't think it's okay neither, but I feel like it's a reality of like the generation that we live in, because I just feel like that's how most of these niggas are. I do.
No, those are the niggas that you going after.
All right. What do you think about that? What do you think about these young ladies that don't know if they want to get married? One says, oh, sorry, I hit the wrong button. One says she don't know if she wants to get married, and the other one says she don't want to get married, but wants to have kids. Do they want to raise a child alone as a single mother? Or I'm just wondering, do these ladies don't think they're going to get married? And maybe that's why they say they don't want to get married. And the other one says she don't know. I think they don't have faith they're going to get married. Okay? Only 27% of Black women are married in the Black community. About 30% of Black men. So 70% aren't getting married, so maybe they just don't have faith in marriage. Maybe in their mind, they're saying it ain't going to happen, so they do want to have children, but not. One says she don't want to get married. She has too many things to do. The other one says she don't know. And I'm wondering, is that really true what they're saying? Does the one not want to get married? Is she okay being a single young lady or a single mother in the future? And does the other one, is it okay if she is married or not? If she finds the right guy, yeah, she'll do it. But if she don't, then, well, she don't really know. I mean, I think with these ladies, in my opinion, I don't think they're telling the truth. I really don't. These are two attractive young ladies. I don't think they'd have a problem finding a husband, but maybe they need to open up their options. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they would be even interested in doing that. But I think, and this is my opinion, I could be 1,000% wrong, but I got a theory on this that they would like to be married, but they don't have faith that it's going to happen, because marriage in the Black community is so low that I think a lot of Black women just accept the fact they're not going to get married. Am I wrong? Yes. Am I right? Yes. I think I'm kind of in between, but I don't know for sure because I can't read minds. I'm just going on what I think and what I see. But you tell me. I mean, we don't know for sure unless we can read these young ladies' minds. But, I think they just don't have faith they're going to get married. That's my opinion. I think that's what it is. And sometimes, as human beings, we have a tendency to go into defense mode when we don't think something's going to happen for us. We're like, well, I'm okay if it don't happen. If we don't think we're going to get married or nobody's interested, well, it's okay. I'll do good alone. I'm okay. Sometimes, people will say, when they, and I've seen men do this of all races, that approach a woman and get turned down. And they'll be like, well, I wasn't interested in her anyway. She's a witch, or, and just say bad things because they got rejected. And it's a defensive thing. No, they really still want to date her, but she said no, that their feelings are hurt and it don't feel good to be rejected. None of us like rejection. But we do tend to go into a defensive mode, like, I don't need you anyway. And, it'd be nice to just think that, okay, if they don't want you, you don't need them, move on. But it's hard to do. I mean, let's be honest. Times I was rejected, it would hurt. And I'd have to pick myself up and get motivated again to push forward and find somebody that wouldn't reject me. That's what we all face in life. Okay, that's everybody's story. But we do go in defense mode. I think these ladies are in defense mode. Like, well, if it don't happen, I don't even know if I want marriage. I think she wants it. The other one, no, she don't. And I don't know. But I'm thinking they're in defense mode. And maybe I'm wrong. Okay, that's just my opinion. But, what do you think? What do you think? Do you think that's what it is? Or you think they just want to live their life and they could care less if they had a husband with them or not?
I feel like that's how most of these are. I do.
No, those are the niggas that you going after.
Okay. All right. But it makes you think, does it not? Have these ladies considered opening up their options? Just saying. And that's a defensive mode too. Black women and white men will say, oh, I stay with my own race, because, and a lot of times they lie because they think the other one's going to reject them. So it's like a preemptive strike. Like, I know you're going to reject me, so I'll just reject you first. A lot of people like that. All right. Now I'm going to play a scene from a church. This is a black preacher talking about single mothers in church. Okay. And I'm going to say something about this. And I want non-black men to listen to this and think about what I'm going to tell you. Okay.
83% of the people in the church be single women and talking about how good God is. Yeah, God is good, but I need a man. Okay, single women, talk back to me, because every woman here ain't trying to dig no holes. They're not trying to pay their own bills and take care of their life and be alone all themselves and get dressed up. They don't want to get dressed and put on Victoria's Secret and date Jesus. No, there are some folk that love God, that are single, and they're saying, Lord, will you please send me a man of God that loves you, that will do right and not smack my head in a wall? Oh, now the single women, y'all don't want to talk back to me? There is something wrong when no one wants to acknowledge that there is a gap in the church. You can't keep dancing over the issue. You can't have half the church full of single people and 25% already single with kids and nobody talk about the issue in the church. The problem is, where are the men? See, nobody want to talk about. Where are the men?
Where are the men? Where are they? White men, listen to this. If you're interested in black women, look. The church. There's a lot of single traditional women in the church. Go to a black church. Seriously, there's single women there. Okay? Now, there's single women in all churches, but there's a lot of them. And a lot of these women would love to have a traditional man that's going, love them, lift them up, and protect them, provide for them. Right? I'm just saying. But, it's black people. They might look at me weird. Who cares? Who cares? They're people. Go. Be bold. Go in there. Now, don't go there like you're better than anybody, but just go there. And if you're a man of faith, hey, listen to the word of God, sing, get into it spiritually and praise God, and just might find a wife there. I'm just saying. Is it okay to open up our options when it comes to God, when it comes to Christianity? Yes. It's perfectly fine. If you're both believers, yes. Why not? If you have the same traditional values and you believe in God, why? And you love black women, why aren't you there at that church? Because he's saying 85% are single women, 25% single mothers. Are we looking to open up our options, or are we waiting for our options to be open for us? Black men don't go to church. There you go. Well, show up. Because I tell you, if I was single and I'm a man of faith, I would be visiting some black churches. I'm just saying. Now, I would do it respectfully. I do it God's way, but I'm telling you, I love black women, and where would I find them? Think about it. And you know what? If they see you got a good heart and they believe you're a man of faith, most of those women don't care you're a white guy. Some of them might even embrace it. Some of them might be down with the swirl, like, oh my God, I can serve God and be with a godly man, and I could swirl to investment. Why not? Is that a crazy idea? Is that a crazy thought? I'm just saying, just an idea. I'm just thinking strategic here. Okay? But there are a lot of single black women in church. There are amazing, beautiful women that are women of faith. I've seen it. You know, my wife was that. She's a single woman in the black church. And her dating options weren't going good with the black man, so she met me, and it's history. I'm just saying, you don't know. I'm just saying. But anyway, let's go ahead and take that down. Okay. All right. Now we're going to get into some triggering, okay? The video I'm going to show is it's a back and forth, and you've probably seen this YouTuber. It's a black man. His name's Jesse Peterson, and he's controversial, okay? And some of the things he says, so this might be triggering, okay? So if you guys, I'm just saying, just listen to what he says and pick out what's true and what's not. Because I believe some things he says are true and some are not. Some are kind of are off. But he kind of likes to troll people and kind of get under their skin, But I want to pick this out because, ladies, while you are being race loyal, black men have been opening up their options, exploring their options. Black men have went after white women for centuries, okay? They have the desire to swirl with white women and other groups of women, okay? And I think we should have, in our country, allowed black men access to white women long, long, long ago. We should never have denied that. But, nobody should be denied from each other. Love each other. They want to be together. Hey, we should not stop it, right? But anyway, okay, even if they're the worst option marriage-wise statistically, they have the right to be together, okay? But anyway, just listen to this, okay? And let's hear what he has to say, okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess the topic is black people own slaves in America as well. Okay. He's he's going to trigger some people. All right, let's listen.
We gave them to white women, and they're still not satisfied. Ain't nothing else to give.
I have a fundamental question.
Do you disagree with that?
I disagree with almost everything that you say, but
They didn't ask for the white woman.
I'm just going to ignore that one. But
Why?
But my question, I mean, what you say that as a group, black people just want white women? Is that what you're trying
Remember
to say?
when black men had to have a white woman, and the white woman got mad? I mean, the black woman got mad about it, so they kind of cooled it off a little bit. But you remember those days when they would say, "Well,
Okay, let me stop there. Okay, yes, black men did want white women. He's right on that. Okay, where I disagree, black women got mad. Okay, some got mad because they're like, hey, during segregated times, you know, what about our community? And black women and black men have told black women that white women are better. So I think there's more to it than black women getting mad at black men, okay? But he says that he's going to trigger it. But anyway, let's continue.
the white man won't let us have the white woman. You let us in your cafe, but you won't give us your white woman." And so the white man said, "Oh, okay, y'all can have our women."
Okay.
Oh, God. So the white man says, oh, okay, you could have our women. He was saying that they were complaining, you'll let us eat in your cafe, but you won't let us have your women. And then the white man said, okay, you could have our women. And anyway, I'm going to break this up, but I'll roll it without interruptions after this.
Didn't quite happen that way, but here's my fundamental question for you,
Yes, it
Jesse.
did. Go ahead.
No, it didn't. Okay, here's my fundamental question for you. Do you love your own people?
And who are my own people?
Black people.
Yes.
How?
I love them without judging them. I understand they cannot see. And because if they could see, they would be individuals. They would have their own families. They wouldn't have any other person representing them, except for the people they vote for, no matter who that is. And I see that they can't see. And that's why they're such victims. They're blind and cannot see. They're angry at their mothers, and they're yearning for their fathers, and they're blaming the white man rather than seeing what's going on in their home. It's their mothers who screwed them up, and not the white man.
Okay, so nothing in that statement that you just made implied that you love your own people.
That was all
just
love.
a whole bunch of negativity and a whole bunch of bashing.
Oh, okay. She's saying you're not saying you love your people, okay, or black people. And he makes some points, okay? Now, I'm not a fan of his, but he does make some points. You know, in the black community, instead of the black man trying to fix it, blaming the white man, okay? Now, I understand white people did evil things. I'm not saying that they didn't. We know history. But a lot of times, there's a crutch out there using the white man did this and white supremacy, and that's why our families aren't married. That's why things ain't good. At some point, even if you're in a Jim Crow era setting, you got to make things happen. Okay. But you know, he makes a point there, and I would agree with that. Sometimes, and I mean this with the utmost respect, but sometimes there are black people that use white supremacy, racism as a crutch, okay? And they'll exaggerate it more than what it is to have an excuse why things didn't go out their way, why the stats aren't in their favor, okay? Not all do this, but a lot do, okay? But not to say there ain't racism or white supremacy, but I think it's blown out so out of proportion. We don't even know what white supremacy is anymore, except just being born white. You're just a white supremacist. I mean, that's what I get out of it. Sometimes you can't even argue with, you know, some of the pro-blacks that I would call them anti-white, because they'll try to talk you into admitting you're a white supremacist and you're this and that. And, you know, I think white people had to come to a point, okay, we're that, whatever, let's move on. But Anyway, but let's go ahead and continue with the exchange.
Your own people.
Like, what do you mean, like how?
So just tell me, can you tell me 3 things that are positive that you appreciate about Black people?
Oh, number one, I appreciate that there are 1 or 2 blacks who are starting to wake up. They're starting to overcome hating the white man, being victim, and blaming everyone. And they're starting to wake up.
Okay, I agree. Don't be a victim, but come on, he should have had 3 things you like about Black people. Come on. I mean, I could tell you things I like about Black people. I mean, when it comes to family, it seems, and speaking about my wife's family, both sides of her family, they have family reunions, they get together, they keep in touch, they have a family bond. And it blows my mind that Black people do this amazing thing. They'll come together and they'll, family members, they'll get with their grandmothers and cousins and all this. Okay. Now, white people do this too, not as much. They seem more family orientated. In spiritual and church, they seem like they're more into the word of God. There seems like there's more emotion. Okay. And I'm being honest. Black people have amazing good qualities. Okay. They do. I love Black people. I really do. The only thing I hate is how Black men treat Black women. A lot of them, how they treat Black women. That's the thing I have a problem with. But I mean, Black people do amazing things. And it blows my mind that they could get together and have family reunions and, talk about history of their family and all these wonderful things. But their marriage rates are so low. Why can't they turn marriage into something like that? Where they come together? That's my question. Because, I see good qualities that Black people do, but then I see the marriage and how Black women are being treated. I'm like, what the heck? I mean, really? I'm just saying. But, the pro-Blacks are confused. I think so. I think there's emotion there, anger, a revenge. White men have done so many bad things, they need to pay for it, and I want to see them suffer like our people have suffered through centuries. And really, you can't move forward by getting revenge. You can't make, I guess you could get revenge, but would it solve anything? It just keep racism alive. It just back and forth. Anyway, okay, let's continue.
Appreciate. Ain't nothing else I can think of.
I mean, I don't even think that one that you scratched and scrabbled to try to become positive, because there was a whole bunch of negative that came with it.
But like what?
I mean, I just think it's unfortunate that you're focused more on taking down Black people.
I'm trying to point the right way to them. I'm telling them I didn't grow up a victim. I grew up under Jim Crow law. I worked at cotton field. Have you ever worked at cotton field?
No, and I hope not to.
Well, you don't know what you wouldn't understand it. You're like a white woman.
I know that it's hard work.
Did you hear what he said? He said, have you worked the cotton field? Okay. And she says, no, I have. Well, you're just like a white woman. Okay. Isn't she a white woman? I mean, I think he's just trying, he's kind of trolling her at this point and just saying, and she's trying to say, well, how come you're not saying you love Black people? And look, just because you criticize someone don't mean you don't love them, okay? I always thought my father was the meanest guy ever and didn't love me because he'd always criticize me. He'd always point out my flaws and he would be on to me to do better and get my act together. And I realized that because he pointed out my flaws, because he wanted me to see where my failure is so I could fix it. He did it out of love, not out of spite. So, I mean, so if black people tell other black people you need to do better, it don't mean they hate them. Just like white people. If I see white people doing something wrong, does that mean I hate my race because I point out what this guy did that was wrong? And I think a lot of times the collective thinking, and I don't like thinking in the collective. I like being more of an individual. You know, collective thinking's really, in my opinion, what really led to racism and racial segregation and, you know, thinking, you know, people thinking they're superior over others. But if you're an individual and you can look at somebody for who they are and what they do and their character, and you can accept them for who they are instead of what they look like. I think, you know, being an individual, we can make more progress instead of living in the collective, because it's like the collective, oh, he's in my group, she's in my group, so I automatically got to protect them. You know, anyway, that's just my thought.
I don't want my hands all cut up with those thorns and whatnot. No, that's hard work.
You thinking like a white woman.
No, I also haven't picked grapes like a lot of the Latinos that do in California, which I also respect as very hard work.
Well, let me ask. I'm trying to point the right way for them. I got to ask you this. Ask, do you feel bad that not all, but the average black man is so weak that he's allowing the black woman to take over and lead the way? Do you feel bad for the black man that he would bow down to the black woman and be the weaker vessel and allow her to try to lead them in the right way to go? Does that make you sad?
Well, I don't even agree with the premise of what you said.
What do you mean?
Don't think that black women are trying to, basically what you're saying is emasculate and break down black men.
Well, that's what they're doing every day. Why don't you?
From your perspective.
All right, let me give my perspective. Since she's scared, since she won't do it. This is what I think. Okay. I don't think black women are trying to take charge. And I think that a lot of times black men ain't doing what they're supposed to. So the black woman's got to pick up the slack. The black woman's got to lift herself up and the family. And I think that's what's happening. And I think, you know, and it's unfortunate because as men, we're supposed to provide and protect, right? Now, if your wife helps you out, I'm not against that, but as men, we should strive to be able to provide and protect. Give our wives the option whether they want to stay home and be a stay-at-home mom or have a career, okay? But I think a lot of times black women have to step up because some of the men ain't doing it, okay? That's what I would say about this. Now, she's playing it safe. She's not going to say anything like that because she don't want to be thought of as a racist. Because what I just said, people say, you're a racist. You can't say that. You know, but I'm telling the truth, okay? You know, but she's not going to do that, okay? But anyway, he's kind of, he's trolling her. He's kind of digging at her, you know, having fun there. But anyway, what do you think? I mean, is it all BS or, you know, does he have some good points or is he just totally off? And does he believe what he's saying? Or is he just, you know, likes the drama and create controversy and get people stirred up? Because this talking will get people stirred up. It is a trigger. It will trigger some people. Okay? But anyway, let's continue.
Which is pretty misogynist.
What's that?
I mean, you have a negative view of women too.
How's that?
Based on what you just said.
What?
Okay, so now we're gonna play this game again.
I don't know anything I said.
Can you say 3 things positive about women?
I don't know anything I said that wasn't true though.
It was not, because black women are not breaking down men, and
Yes, they are, even in the
I do
home.
not believe that black men are inherently weak.
I don't think black women are breaking down black men. No, I disagree with what he said. No, Mm-mm. I think black women are forced to make it happen. It's like survival at this point. I don't think. Now there might be some cases where, there's always an exception where the woman might be trying to break down the man, but usually, if the woman's taking charge, usually the man is not. Okay, in all cultures, most of the time when the woman's in charge, it's because the man fails to lead, either because he can't or don't want to. Okay, I don't think women are just breaking down men. So I totally disagree with what he said there.
What's wrong with them then?
I think people in general, can improve, but I would not say as a group that black men are problematic, nor would I say that
Well,
black
why
women as a group
why
are
they're not
problematic.
getting better? They're becoming weaker. They even call the black woman queen. I'm like, what the? How's she a
Well, what's wrong
queen
with
of
trying to
hell?
uplift What's wrong with trying to uplift black women?
But calling her a queen is not uplifting her. That's uplifting her ego, which is evil, and it make her think she's something that she.
Okay, now this is dumb. So you call her a queen? Okay, come on now. Okay, if she's your wife, why couldn't you think of her like a queen? She's like the queen of the household. You're the king, she's the queen. I don't think that's making black women's ego go out of control because you call her a queen. Usually, I think most black women don't want you going around calling her a queen. She wants you to treat her like a queen, but not say, hey, queen. That's kind of weird. Yeah, he is paid by secret entity to make things up. Yeah, he has some good point, but I think some of this he trolls people and he stirs up the pot. And I think that's what he's doing. To get a rise out of people, and it sells. I'm serious. Look, he's got a lot of followers because he says things that are controversial. Okay, but anyway,
Nothing.
I mean, I'm not going to debate that one, but what I will
Right.
say, no, I don't agree with what you said, but what I will say is that, based on your statements, I mean, I see that there are two core groups that I would encourage you to think about in more positive ways, and that is black people and that is women, and then the subset of that being black women. Because I
Black
don't
women are
think you have positive
dangerous
views.
because of their
They're
heart.
not dangerous. You just have a
Because of
negative
their
view.
evil heart.
I mean, I guess.
okay. Do you guys want to hear this again in its full entirety, or you want me to go to something else? Yeah, he is ungrateful, but do you guys want to hear it again? I know I kind of stopped it, but give me a 1 if you want to hear it again. 2 if you want me to move on. He knows he's saying nonsense. Yeah, move on. Okay, I agree. But I wanted to pick some stuff out of that discussion. Okay, looks like people want to move on. But I wanted to pick out some things. He did make some points. He was right on some things. He wasn't totally wrong, but you could clearly see he was trolling. You could see he was stirring people up, going in on black men and black women, and he's a black man, and you have the white woman trying to. I mean, I don't think nothing really got discussed. She didn't really make no points because she's playing it safe because she's a white woman, and maybe having a black woman and a black woman's perspective in a discussion like that. Because they're talking about black men and women, within the black community. So I don't know. Is he cross-eyed? Maybe. But yeah. Okay. We'll move it forward. Okay, now we're going to get into the uncomfortable topic of white supremacy. Okay. There's some videos I wanted to show you. There's a woman that has a chart for characteristics of white supremacy, and there's a ton of them. One was like the right to be comfortable was one. One was individualism. One was I don't know. There was a bunch of them, but all these categories would link in a white person to that. And the individual thing is I consider myself a free thinking individual. So according to that chart, I would be considered having white supremacy characteristics. Or if you feel uncomfortable about talking about racism and white supremacy, you have symptoms of or characteristics of white supremacy. I wanted to show that, but the young lady that has it blocked where I can't download it. So, but I wanted to kind of pick through that and give my opinion. But we'll show these videos, and these are silly things about white supremacy. Okay, and you're going to laugh. You're going to be like, "What?" It don't even make sense. But anyway, let me go ahead and put this up here.
Time is white supremacy. On time to do.
Okay. She says being on time is white supremacy. Being on time is white supremacy. That's what it says up there. Well, dang, my boss must be a white supremacist because he wants me to show up on time. But anyway, let's hear what she has to say.
Being on time is white supremacy because what are they always on time to do? Oppress.
Do y'all just sit and think about what we can blame on white supremacy? Showing up on time is white supremacy. So being late is not white supremacy? Being on time is called respect. If you've got a 30-minute meeting and that person shows up 15 minutes late, right? That's disrespectful to the other person's time. It's not white supremacy. And at first I thought this was a joke, but then there are people that were actually agreeing with it. The lack of accountability is astounding. You literally have people saying that being on time is white supremacy, and people wonder why black people struggle. I swear sometimes it seems like we will do whatever we can to avoid that itchy, icky accountability. You know what else being on time does? Helps keep your job. It helps businesses operate in an effective manner. And when businesses operate effectively, people end up being more happy. It's crazy how people will attach good qualities to white supremacy, which indirectly says that black people should be the opposite of that good quality, which means they should have the bad quality. Make it make sense?
Okay. I think he sees it. But really, there are people that will say being on time is white supremacy. And you think, okay, it's a joke. Okay, I show up to work on time. I'm a white supremacist now. Or if I'm a supervisor and say, hey guys, make sure you show up on work on time so we can get going, and that's a white supremacist? And look, I always thought white supremacy was white people thinking they're superior. Have I lost something? Is being prompt, being to work on time, white supremacy? Huh? And I think that's what he was saying. You can't. Okay, that don't make sense. But believe it or not, people believe silly stuff like this. It just, I can't even believe it. I'm just like, but I looked in the comments on that, and people say, "Oh yeah, that's right. That's what they do." And but anyway, but this next clip, this is real white supremacy. This guy's going to break it down so beautifully that you can't deny what he says is white supremacy. Okay, let me show you this.
So let's talk about.
Okay, good-looking young man there. He says, White supremacy, a tip, signaling each other. Oh, okay, this should be interesting. Have you about the fake cough when you walk into the same room as them? Okay, he's going to break down white supremacy. Okay, I'm going to play it through and I'm going to break this down.
So let's talk about how white supremacists and their allies signal each other. If they, when you walk into a building real loud, they're signaling to other white people that a ninja is around. White women, especially in Arizona, they like to shake their keys at you like you're a dog if you're in their way. You don't think about it, but until after they did it. Mexicans, if they whistle out of nowhere and you're the only person around, they trying to whistle at you like you're a dog. They like to, when they try to signal each other in real life, they do the eye contact thing, just stare at each other. And when they're driving, they signal each other that a ninja is in the vehicle by driving for the middle lane. They'll touch the lane, come off it. Touch the lane, come off it, to let the driver behind know to mess with you.
Okay. Hey. Okay. Oh my God. Guys. So that's how white supremacists signal each other. Okay. Let me break this down. Like, oh my God, white supremacy is running rampant. And in Arizona, well, I lived in Arizona half my life, so I never seen this, but okay.
So let's talk about how white supremacists and their allies signal each other. If they, when you walk into a building real loud, they're signaling to other white people that a ninja is around.
Okay, so look, if you walk in the room, okay, and you're black, and someone goes, that means that's a signal. Hey, there's a black person in here. That's a signal. Okay, so if you hear coughing, that's white supremacy in action. That's the signaling. Okay, be careful. If you hear coughing, run. Okay, they're signaling other white supremacists to come after you. So, and you might think, oh, well, it's a cold and flu season. No, that's white supremacy communication. He's breaking it down. Okay, let's continue.
White women, especially in Arizona, they like to shake their keys at you like you're a dog if you're in their way.
Yeah, white women in Arizona, if they shake their keys, they're treating you like a dog. Okay? And that's signaling, especially in Arizona. Okay, like this. If you hear this shaking of the keys, that's signaling white supremacy, especially white women in Arizona. We gotta keep that clear. If you're traveling through Arizona and you hear keys jingle, look, get out of the situation, get out of the area. And if it's a white woman doing it, you're in trouble. Okay. She's going to treat you like a dog. Okay? Which probably what happened, he's probably trying to push up on a white woman in Arizona, and she probably was shaking her keys trying to get help because he's following her around in the store. Maybe that's what happened. You know, he probably thinks he looks like Denzel, and, you know, but he got turned down, so it's white supremacy. I mean, I don't know if that happened, but I don't know. Watch out for the shaking keys. Oh my God. Keys jingling, that's definitely white supremacy.
You don't think about it, but until after they did it. Mexicans, if they whistle out of nowhere and you're the only person around, they trying to whistle at you like you're a dog. They like to, when they try to signal each other in real life, they do the eye contact thing, just stare at each other.
Okay, so whistling. Now this is Mexicans now, okay? Now, this is how they do their white supremacy, okay? They whistle, okay? White women jingle the keys, Mexicans whistle, okay? Now make sure you're writing this down, because look, if you go to Arizona and you see white women jiggling keys, you know the deal. Now, if you go in the Mexican community and they start whistling, hey. And then they do the eye contact. Oh my God, because people don't whistle and people don't make eye contact unless they're white supremacists. Okay? Take this guy's warning. He's breaking it down. Man, you know what? Gosh, I'm really learning. Yeah, wait till I get to Arizona. I see them white women jingling keys. They're going to have a piece of my mind. Stop your white supremacy. We need to make a stand. And the Mexicans whistling, yeah, don't do that. That's white supremacy. Okay? I wonder what Asians do. Or, do black people have tendencies when they practice their white supremacy? I don't know. Well, let's continue.
And when they're driving, they signal each other that a ninja is in the vehicle by driving for the middle lane. They'll touch the lane, come off it. Touch the lane, come off it, to let the driver behind know to mess with you. So come off it. Touch the lane, come off it, to let the driver behind know.
Okay, did you get that? Okay, if you're on the road, okay, and you're a black person and somebody goes around you and touches the lane and comes back, touches it, okay, I need to write this down, because, okay, if they go to the middle lane and touch the lane and come back, okay, I'm getting confused. Let's run through it again, because I understand the key jingling and the whistling and the eye contact. I get it. But on the road, it gets a little complicated. Let's have them break it down again, because this is what you got to watch out for. Okay.
Touch the lane, come off it.
Okay, hold on.
Is in the vehicle by driving for the middle lane. They'll touch the lane.
Middle lane, they touch the lane. Okay, middle lane, they touch the lane. Okay.
Come off it. Touch the lane, come off it, to let the driver behind know to mess with you.
Yeah, and that's their signaling to let you know there's a black person, and that they're signaling to mess with them. Okay, if they go to the middle lane, they touch it, come back over. They touch it, come back over. Okay, I'm trying. Okay, and I get it. This young man is breaking it down. He knows the game. He knows. White supremacy comes in so many areas. Key jingling, whistling, eye contact, going to the middle lane, touching it and coming back over, and touching it and coming back over. I mean, it's okay. I get it. I never knew that. I just thought people were being rude and cut you off, and I just thought people are in a hurry. But no, it's not that. It's white supremacy signaling. Oh man. Look up his TikTok and see that there's so many things about white supremacy. We're going to have to take college courses to learn about white supremacy, because it's such a wide range. I just thought it was white people that thought they were superior. I was so wrong. It's key jingling, it's steering, it's whistling, it's touching the lane, coming back over and over again. Oh man. Thank you for enlightening me. Now I know. Thank you, sir, so much. Oh, I'm starting to become woke. I'm getting it now. Before I was a little slow. I thought white supremacy was a form of racism, that white people thought they were superior. And no, but it goes further than that. I mean, I'll never look at a set of keys the same way again. If I see, you know, if I see Mexicans whistle, I'll have to talk to them and say, hey, don't practice white supremacy, please. If they make eye contact, I'm like, oh my God. And if I see white women in Arizona jingling keys, I might have to take control of that situation and do my part. Okay. I mean, okay. Where did they get this thing? Oh, and don't let me forget, being on time to work is white supremacy. Okay? Being on time, that's white supremacy. If someone tells you, be on time, don't be late, they're a white supremacist, and you let them know you're not going to put up with that crap. If your boss says, hey, you need to be at work in time, no! You white supremacist jackass, I'm not going to be on time. Don't do that to me. You tell them. You got to take a stand. Okay. All right. Now I'm being silly, but I'm like, come on. Maybe somebody might jingle their keys because they might be a racist. They might think they might not like you. Okay. You know, or they just might be jingling their keys. I don't. A Mexican that might be whistling, he might be whistling at somebody else. He might be, his dog might have got away and he's whistling for his dog. I mean, it's so crazy. It's silly. I mean, you can't even make this up. Now, if somebody's going around saying racial slurs, I get it. Okay, that I can understand. Okay, that's a form of white supremacy, right? If you talk about someone's skin tone and make fun of them, yeah, that's a part of white supremacy. That's a true white supremacy. Okay? If you unfairly discriminate against somebody because they're a different color or ethnicity, that's white supremacy. Yes. But jingling keys and being told to be at work on time, come on. And touching the lane and going over again. Okay. Oh my God. You're going to have people paranoid. They're going to see a white woman jingling keys and say, oh my God, they're coming for me. Okay. Now the last video I got is microaggressions. Okay. It maybe, or maybe it's just someone that's just in a hurry and cut somebody off. But anyway.
Joe here. I was just thinking.
Okay, this young lady, she's going to tell us about white supremacy become alive in 2020. Okay. All right, let's hear her talk. Okay.
Joe here. I was just thinking back into 2020 and how white supremacy and racism became the biggest threat to our democracy and to our freedom. But I don't recall ever, prior to that, ever being stopped from getting a job because of my skin color or ever being denied service because of my skin color. However, starting in 2020, I was denied service because I refused to wear a mask. I was also threatened by bus drivers to be kicked off the bus and to stop the bus because I refused to wear a mask. Fast forward to 2021, I was still being denied service, not just because of the mask, but because of my vaccination status. I was also arrested at a restaurant because I refused to show them my medical records, which is illegal to do so, in businesses that are open to the public. And lastly, I was illegally fired from my job, again, because of my vaccination status. In 2020 and 2021, it became cool to become openly racist. But this wasn't just done by white people. It was a collective effort done by whites, blacks, Latino, Asians, and Jews. They became the same white supremacists that they were preaching about. But yet, are now walking around the year 2022 as if they didn't just openly discriminate against people, as if they didn't support a medical apartheid and Jim Crow law in today's time. A bunch of hypocrites, some of you are. But guess what? I will forgive you, but I will never, ever forget.
Okay. What do you think about what she said? Okay. Here's the problem I have with what she said. Okay. Now, I agree with her, you know, having to wear a mask. And I didn't agree with that. Having to show your medical records, your shot records. I thought that was wrong. Everything she said, I thought was wrong too. I agree with her on that. But my thing is how can you say it's white supremacy if white people are doing it, black people are doing it, all groups? Because she said that. She said she wasn't denied a job because of her race. She wasn't denied service, but she was because she wouldn't wear a mask during COVID, because she didn't get vaccinated. She was let go from her job, fired from her job, which I don't, that's not right. Okay, I sympathize with her. But how is that white supremacy? What you're saying is because it's evil, it's white supremacy? Or is it just wrong? Is it just bad policy? Is it just wrong to let somebody go over shot records, taking away your rights? Is everything that's wrong and evil based in white supremacy? That's what the question I have. Was it white supremacists that said, hey, we all need to wear a mask? Now, if they're only holding black people accountable for that, nobody else, then I can say, okay, you got something there. But if black people and white people are being let go and all groups, because it was happening to all people. What she went through, people told me I had to wear a mask. I had to, you know, or they wouldn't serve me. There were times at the job I had to wear a mask because they would have fired me. I don't agree with them doing that. But that's not white supremacy. That's just, we can say it's evil. We can say it's wrong. But you're just saying if something's wrong, it's white supremacy. Meaning that anything that's bad comes from white people, really, is what you're saying. I mean, and we became racist in 2020. I'm confused. Was the mask policy a racist issue? Was it white supremacy? Was it a white supremacist law or mandate? Because we all had to follow it, right? So were white people getting a free pass? They didn't have to wear a mask or get shots? Because if that was it, I'd say, okay, that's probably white supremacy. But coming from every group and every group doing it to each other, that's not white supremacy. You could say that's wrong. You could say that's evil. I don't know why it's got to have that label on it. Now, white supremacy is wrong in every way possible. You know, racial supremacy is wrong at all levels. You know, but because it's bad policy, don't make it white supremacy. If a white person assaults you, does that mean he's a racist and a white supremacist? Or is he just an evil man? Because if he does it to everybody, he's just an evil jackass, right? I mean, what is the definition here? We're adding white supremacy to things that it don't apply to. It is you know, it's dangerous, because then we get in the thought process that everything that's bad is just white supremacy, and that means white people, you're just evil. There's no hope for you. You're white supremacy. You're a racist, and you're born that way. And no matter what you do, you're stuck. Because that's where it's going to end up. Then why do better? Because you can't. You're already a white supremacy. You're born that way. You're inherently racist, right? No, I'm just saying, I mean, I don't let that bother me. Well, it does bother me because I want to be judged for my character. If I say something that's wrong, okay, hold me account. You know, but if I say be to work on time, don't call me a racist, because that's an agreement you have with the job. You know, you get paid to show up on time. That's an agreement you have with your employer. Now, if he singles you out and everybody's late and says, hey, and he disciplines you and nobody else, yeah, that's wrong. But just to say be on time. But anyway, I agree, those policies were wrong. And I sympathize with her. She shouldn't have lost her job for that. That was wrong. But a lot of people did. Okay. My problem is you say, oh, that's white supremacy. It just gotten to bear a norm. Oh, that's jacked up. That's white supremacy. Oh, hey, I have to show up on work. My boss yelled at me. White supremacy. Somebody cut me off on the road. White supremacy. I stubbed my toe. White supremacy. I didn't get the job I wanted. White supremacy. I'm not a millionaire. White supremacy. I mean, now I'm not saying it don't exist. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not giving an excuse for any evil white people I've done in the past. I'm not. Okay? I'm just saying, let's call things what they are. You know? But I don't really get mad at black people for saying this. I don't. Because a lot of it's conditioning, a lot of it's stereotypes, generalizations, and a lot of it's looking at history and not looking at what's happening today. Not looking at people that are here alive today and looking at people that were alive in the past. You're just linking people together because they look alike and they're just all evil. That's the problem I have. Now, our society has a ways to go. You know, but anyway, I just want people to think about this stuff. Somebody in the comments said, well, he's talking about microaggression. Okay. Well, I can even see maybe somebody's doing that. Maybe they're messing with you on the road and it could be because you're black and you don't like you. It could be that. But if you see it happening, it's not every time because they're racist. A white woman might jingle her keys at and say, hey, dog. But if another white woman's jingling her keys, she just might be jiggling her keys for no reason. I mean, there's not something you can say, you did that, so that's white supremacy. Now, if they say a racial slur, okay, I get it. White supremacy. If they don't give you fair treatment and they do it to you because you're black and other people because they're black, okay, I get that. But anyway, but it's just interesting, okay? And I don't want nobody to have any bad feelings, okay? I'm just giving you my opinion, what I see, you know. And this is what we hear. And I tell you, a lot of times there's frustration with white people because we don't want to be called racist. Nobody wants to be called that. That's a horrible thing. And if you care about racism, you don't want to be called that. Now, if you're a racist and you could care less what they think, you're going to do your own thing and whatever. But usually people that care, feel bad about it and don't want to be that. Yeah, you know what? That was kind of that comment there, Bronze Rage. I don't believe she was asked proceed medical records just to eat. No, I don't. Yeah, that's kind of if they did that, she has a good lawsuit. She should have sued them. Yeah, they're not supposed to ask that. That's yeah. Now, because of the mandate, they can require you to wear a mask to come in. Okay. Um, whether you agree with it or not, that those were the rules, and I don't agree with it, but hey. But yeah, but people there were some jobs that did fire people because they didn't get vaccinated. In the military, they were letting people, they're kicking them out because they wouldn't get vaccinated. So she was 100% right on that. Now, I don't know if she got fired. She said she did. I'm going to assume she did. But there were people that were fired because they refused to get the vaccination. That did happen. Yeah. Touching the lane while driving. Yeah, it's rude. People are rude to me on the road all the time. People are just rude. Now, could it be a white supremacist being rude to a black man? Yeah, I'm sure that happens, okay? But every time it happens, ain't white supremacy. That was my thing on it. Somebody said it's microaggression. Yeah, that's kind of, getting at you, but it might not be race related. He might just like messing with people. But anyway, but I just, and this is a topic that's uncomfortable. It's something we do need to have the discussion. I don't think we need to harp on white supremacy every day, 24/7, but it does exist. And when we see it, we should call it out. And if you want to get rid of white supremacy, well, that's like getting rid of sin. I mean, you're always going to have that. There's always going to be people that think they're superior. You can't get rid of it. It's like trying to get rid of sin. You can't. Now, can you take measures to oppress it and, call people out and hold them accountable? Yes. Okay. But we got to make sure that's what it is. Because if a man's walking down the street whistling, we can't just assume he's a white supremacist and hold him accountable and he's confused like, what? I'm just, we got to make sure it is what it is. And in order for white supremacy to go down, black supremacy has to go down. Racial supremacy has to be taken away. Because when you get one, you got the other. And I've always said that white supremacy's brother is black supremacy, and one cannot survive without the other. And people say, well, no, it can't. There can be white supremacists and black people that don't think that way. Yeah, but if you push it far enough, you're going to develop, a counteract to it. And, sometimes people fight hate with hate, and, it just. But anyway, but those are some videos I showed. Now I was laughing, and it seems kind of silly, but a lot of people are serious about this. I can, okay, maybe the key jingling thing, maybe I could see some racist people doing it, but I don't think when someone jingles keys, that's automatically what it is. But saying be to work on time, that one I couldn't. How do you explain that? I mean, when somebody hires you, they got to make money, so they need you to be on time, and it's an agreement. They pay you for being at the job. So how can that be white supremacy? Unless they let others get away with it and just hold you accountable. Okay, that could be white supremacy if you break it down like that. But I think the white supremacy thing is used much more often than it should be. I think people use it as a crutch, and it can hurt black people, if they get in the mindset to think that everything that's bad is white supremacy, then you're never wrong. Just white supremacy is so horrible that you can't get ahead. And that could demoralize people. That could tear down their confidence. And I'm not saying don't talk about it, but make sure that's what it is. Don't just say, okay, well, I didn't get the job, white supremacy, and and I'm just saying there's successful black people all over the place. So I don't think white supremacy is that powerful. Okay. Not saying people haven't been done wrong by it. They have, but the way people make it sound like if you're born white, you're a white supremacist, and your mission in life is to mess with black people and hurt them or harm them or treat them bad. And that ain't true. But anyway, let me get off this white supremacy thing. Okay. But it does exist, but come on, let's call it out for what it is. Okay. But anyway, but think about what I said about opening up your options. Swirl to investment. Okay. You know what that is. That's interracial dating to marriage, right? I talk about it all the time. And I tell you why black women have been my preference. And people will say, well, you're a fetishizer, it's lust. Well, being married 30 years, it wouldn't have made, I wouldn't have been married to my wife that many years if it was just built on lust. I'm just saying. Or being a fetishizer. And do people know what the definition of fetishization is? Because if you look it up, it says sexual gratification from body parts, seeing a woman as an object instead of a human being, just lusting something about her. Maybe it's a body part, maybe it's a butt, maybe it's a chest, maybe it's something, and you focus on that. You don't see her as someone you love. You just have that sexual desire because of that. That's a fetish. Now, saying a black woman's beautiful and they're amazing, that's not a fetish. That's just showing love and respect. Now, as men and women, we have desires for each other. We do. We're human. But there's a time and place for those things. And we need to do it the right way. And if you're down with the swirl, do it. Be down with the swirl. Nothing wrong with that. But do it the right way. Do it because you love that person. Do it because you think she's amazing or he's amazing, and that's who you want to be with. And if you want to date black women, date them because you love them, because you see them as beautiful women. You see the character they have. You see how they can improve your life and how you can improve theirs, and come together, taking your swirl to investment to marriage. How many of you women out there that have opened up your options, that have swirled to investment, and men too? How many of you out there that did that fell in love and decided you're not just going swirl, you're going to take it to investment. You're going to do it within marriage. And how many of you ladies are out there that are in my generation, Gen X? Born in the 60s and early 70s, grew up dating in the 80s, swirling back then. Because I'm telling you, the stuff I see today within the social media, talking about swirling, talking about divestment, talking about all this stuff, we're doing that in the 80s. When I was in high school, it was opening up. I remember I was doing it and other people were doing it. It was happening. And it was happening in high school. It was happening, in society. Numbers were increasing back in the 80s. The shift was happening in the 80s with black women, white men. It was. It's not as common as it is now. It's increasing every day. But do you remember those times? When did you take your Swirl to investment? What year? What date? And how did that end up? How many years you been married? I took my Swirl to investment May 19th, 1994. I remember that. He just turned 1994. I was 24 years old. My wife was 25. And I remember we were young then, and we had our life ahead of us, and we were in love, and we came together, and, you know, it was exciting. And I remember when I was young, oh, 7 years? Awesome. That's awesome. You know, May 19th, me and my wife Sandy will hit 30 years. 30. 30 years. Man, if I had a nickel for everybody that said it wouldn't work, I'd be wealthy right now. You know, and the beautiful thing is we defied the odds. And a lot of black women, white men have defied the odds. They did what they said couldn't be done. We came together. We found love and respect for each other. And I tell you my story. I tell you my life. Black women have touched my life since I was a child. I look back and I'm like, oh my God, this path was set forward. God had to be involved in this. And look, my high school days, I was headed nowhere fast. I didn't know if I was going to graduate. I graduated from high school, went in the Army, and I had a reading rate. I had a reading level of a 6th grade reading level. Graduated from high school. I was, you know, I didn't take school serious. And going to public schools in a crappy neighborhood I lived in, I didn't care until later on. You want to hear a story? You want to hear a story? What touched my life? And what turned me around, that got me thinking about education, and this started, and I tell you how my wife helped me, you know, study and get my reading level up, and how I was taking college courses, prep course to get me up to speed to where I could actually go to college. Then I tell you how my wife helped me, how she was instrumental in that, and how I was able to do that and get my reading level up, actually get a college degree, which I never thought possible for me. My wife's highly educated, but, you know, for some reason, God led me to an educated woman, a woman that was a lot smarter than me, that had something going on together. You know, she had something together, you know, and it helped me become better. And I tell you, when a black woman loves you and you open up to her, she'll make you better than you thought you could be. And she'll bring out the best in you. And it's not like she pulls you and does it for you. No, she pours so much love into you that you just do it. And you don't even, she'll bring out the best in you, like, and you won't even notice it's happening. I'm serious. You know, let me tell you a story. This was back when I was 17, right? And, you know, I started interracially dating when I turned 16. I had just turned 16. And the first girl I went out with was a black girl. Okay. And from there, I never looked back. But when I was 17, there was this girl in my biology class. Okay. And she had an impact on me. Okay. It didn't work out. We weren't meant for each other. But this was a positive experience. Okay. She was in my biology class. Her name was Stephanie. I remember. And this was, gosh, back in 86, I would say, because I was 17. Maybe 87, 86. No, it was 86 and 87. Well, anyway, we're in biology class, right? And she was in my English class too. and we were dissecting a frog, right? In biology, they'd have you cut up, and they put us together as lab partners. And she didn't want to cut it open, because it was. So I said, I'll do it, So, we were lab partners for that, for what we're doing in class. And, we did it. And this girl, she was like very smart. She was one of those kind that were, she wasn't real outgoing or popular. I mean, she was cute, but she was really into her study, really intelligent, really, and we had a good communication. We're friends, and I started going out with her. I had feelings for her, and people would say, "Oh, she looks like a librarian," and she didn't have the big butt or whatever. People were, but she was amazing, and it was somebody I could talk to, I could have fun with, that was just, and I was dating the right way there. I was doing it the right way. And I remember, and being around that influence, my grades got better. My parents thought she was amazing because she would come over to the house, right? And we would study. We were doing book reports, and she was, I thought she was kind of crazy because, she would get in English class, we do reports about Charles Dickens and the Grapes of Wrath, and she'd get all into that, and I'm like, oh, okay. But it got me thinking, it got me studying, it got me thinking, you know what? And we had a connection. My parents loved her because they knew she was a good influence. And we can hang out and just have a good time. We weren't trying to get in trouble on the weekends, going to some house party. She'd come over to the house and we'd study or watch a movie. It was simple, it was basic. And we were close. And there's one weekend, one of my friends says, "Hey, why don't you hang out with us? There's this girl, she likes you." And, I said, "Well, I'm with Stephanie, and hey, she won't know, let's just go have fun." So I did it. And this young lady found out and just looked at me and cried. And this haunts me to this day because the relationship we had, which was amazing, because I did her wrong, because I betrayed her. It never had, she had nothing to do with me ever again. And I think about that. And I was a knucklehead, I was an idiot. But one thing it did is she, for the first time in my life, got me thinking, got me doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I thought, she's amazing because she's educated. She's so smart. And I wasn't even close to being in her league. I was just, didn't care, going nowhere fast. But I felt I had a purpose. My parents were upset with me because, my dad and my stepmother was like, "What did you do?" She was that one of your girlfriends that we actually liked that was going to do something with her life. And you messed it up. That's how they talked to me, like, oh my God. They didn't say, "Oh, well, you're young and dumb, you'll get over it." No. They knew I messed up. But that had an impact on my life. Black women have shown me how to love the right way, how to see true beauty in people and see the value. And like I said, I felt so bad. I still feel bad and guilty to this day. Because she did nothing but show me love, and I did her wrong. And then my life after that, my dating, it was a mess. Until I met my wife, Sandy. And she was like that young lady I met before. Educated, had her head together, had their priorities right. And it was like God give me the chance with Stephanie back in the day, and I blew it. But it's like God give me a second chance. And I know with my wife, I couldn't blow this one. But people think because you have interactions with people and it don't work out that it don't mean nothing. It means a lot. It was, how did I betray her? I went out with another girl at the time, and she was my girlfriend. She's my one and only. We told each other we loved each other and we had plans, but I listened to my stupid friends and thought she wouldn't find out, and boom. But it made me grow up for a little bit. And then when I met my wife, I knew exactly what I was looking for. I knew exactly what I wanted. And they say you don't know what you got till it's gone. You heard that, right? Well, that was the thing. I had an awesome girlfriend at that time that, if I did it right, we could have been amazing together, right? But it wasn't meant to be. But me and my wife, Sandy, were amazing together. And with little interactions with people and seeing their true character, seeing, what I need to do with my life. And Black women have shown me since I was little, growing up, how to love the right way, how to show people you have love, how to believe in somebody, how to be loyal. And I tell Black men all the time, I said, you have a blessing and you're blowing it. You're messing it up. You're letting your ego and pride get in the way of a beautiful blessing you have in your community. And if you don't want that blessing, there are men like me that'll roll in there and take that blessing. There are young brads right now in their young 20s looking at Black women and say, you know what? She treats me better than Becky ever did. You know what? She appreciates that I do stuff for her. You know what? There's something about Black women. There's something about the love you receive from a Black woman. And I tell you, and I'm being honest, for me, it was Black women from the beginning, and it never changed. And people have asked me, well, don't you see other women beautiful? Yes, I do. Okay, why didn't you date other women? Well, if the love from Black women wasn't so good, I would have done that. But guess what? I found the blessing. And I didn't want to be with no other group of women because of the love I received, because Black women's character. And these guys go in on Black women because their education and their degrees don't mean nothing? Oh, really? If nothing else, it shows Black women have character. It shows Black women are adapting and overcoming and making things happen. And when they get with a strong man that does the right thing, there's nothing stopping her. And there's nothing stopping the man that's with her. Just saying. And I don't care who it offends me saying this, but that's the honest to God truth. There's something about black women that I can relate to. There's something about them that I love talking to black women. There's something about them that I see how beautiful they are. And she could be 20 or 80. And I see the beauty in the black woman. I see the character. I see the love. I see the spirituality. I feel the emotions. And you think I'm going to go to another group of women that ain't doing that? You got to be crazy. Oh, well, society won't like it. Well, hell with society. Well, what about your family? Well, if they don't accept it, hell with them too. And I'm telling you, I will not be denied. And this was always how I thought. I will never be denied being with a black woman. I will find the black woman that likes me and I will find her. And I don't care what my friends think. I don't care what my family thinks. I don't care what white people think, black people think, or any other group of people think. I'm going to put on my armor. I'm going to pull out Excalibur and I'm going to work. And I'm going to fight for what I want. And I'm going to live my best life. And you can call me whatever you want, but I'm doing it. Yeah, people thought I was crazy then, huh? What do you think now? People that told me that in the past, they ain't saying it. They have to admit, you know what? You're right. You know what? You're right. My grandmother said, you know what? You're right. Friends in high school, why do you got to be a black woman all the time? 30 years later, well, what do you think? Oh, you might have been onto something, you think? How come your marriage lasted and ours didn't? Huh? I wonder. I got one guy I went to high school with me. He said, you need to stay with white women. Now he says, I should open up my options. Yeah, you think? You're too busy living for other people. I was busy going for what I wanted in life. I was busy wanting to fly first class and not struggle with doing what other people think I should do. It just so happens that the best group of women does not look like me. It just happens that black women are the best option. I'm okay with it. Actually, I'm ecstatic about it. And it don't matter how many like me and you know what my dating percentage could be. I just know the best option and I want it. I just know black women are the most beautiful, most amazing women, and I want to be married to one, and I am married to one. That was my thought process. You know, I remember somebody said, well, you know, most of them won't like you. Why are you doing that? Why don't you get with white women or Asian? They like white guys. How about that? How about no? How about I go for what I want? Well, most of them won't date you. And I don't need to date most of them. I just need one. I need it. I'm looking for a wife. I need one. But believing in the stereotypes and the generations and all that crap, I found out there are plenty of black women that would date me. But we get caught up in this thing. Oh, they won't like me. I'm white. Oh my God. Now, if they don't, go to the next one. And black women get caught up the same way. Well, you know, my cousin Tyrone says the white guys he's with don't like black women, and oh, shut up. I mean, I'm just saying. Live your life the way you want to live it. Go for the best option. Ladies, black women, open up your options. Swirl to an investment, divest, do what you need to do what's best for you. You don't owe nobody nothing. You don't owe your family nothing. You don't owe your community anything. What you do owe is yourself. You owe it to yourself to live your best life. You owe it to yourself to have the best option, whatever color that option is. You owe it to yourself, Black women. Do not sell yourself short. Do not settle for less. It makes no sense for the best group of women settling for less. And all these beta idiots that are telling Black women, oh, you're going to take down, marry down, and you're going to just shut up. They tell you that because they can't meet your level. They can't get to where you're at. Or they don't want to. Hey, Bostonian, how's it going? Okay. But anyway, guys, tonight's show, okay, there's a lot put in there. I know we laughed, and but these are real world things we're talking about, especially in our country. White supremacy is talked about all the time. Okay. And when it happens, it should be brought out in the light. Okay. But when it's not, and making stuff up, that's counterproductive. And we need to open up our options, not just Black women, white men, other groups of non-Black men. You need to open up your options. Black women right now is the best choice when it comes to love and marriage. Black women are the most loyal. We say Black women are the most race loyal. No, Black women are the most love loyal. It just so happens that a lot of Black women feel guilty dating out, or feel some kind of way, or unsure, or scared, or think white men don't like, so they won't do it. Okay? More are doing it. It's opening up every day. We're going, swirl to investment, one couple at a time, we change the world. Okay? And people tell me, well, white people accepted Italians and Irish in, but they won't do it for Black people. Yes, they will. White people will. If it takes us having to procreate with Black people, we're going to come together. Okay? And if it takes a few of us at a time, we're going to make it happen. It's part of the plan. It's God's will. We're going to come together. And yes, Tyrone loves Becky, and let him have his Becky. Okay? I would just ask, do it the right way. Take your swirl to investment and do it because that's who you love, not for a status. But yeah, it's going to happen. We're going to come together. It's going to happen. And it needs to happen. And our children, our biracial children will be running this country in the future. And that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe we'll get it right this time. Maybe we'll love and respect our biracial children instead of pushing them to the side because they're not pure. Those days are gone. We're in a new space and time. We're going to come together. We're going to do it the right way. We're going to swirl to investment, not look back. And in the future, we can put Black women where they belong, at the top. Because Black women have earned the top spot. It just society isn't putting her up there yet. It's like she won the race, but let's wait. Other women are great too. No, Black women are outpacing everybody. Education, the corporate world, and businesses, they're doing it. And not to put no other women down, because there's great women of other races doing it too. But Black women lead the way. When it comes to love and marriage, Black women lead the way. And I hear Black women telling other Black women to open up their options. I'm telling white men, open up your options. Pull your head out. Look what's around you. see that hidden treasure and get to know her. You'll be better off. Statistically. And not saying that they're all great and you just find one, you're set. And I tell black women, vet, there are crappy white men, okay? Yes, statistically you're better off. And you're safer being with a white man. I know that's going to really trigger people. Oh, well, we found a white guy that unalived a black woman. Yeah, you're going to find that. Men unalive women all the time. But if you dig in the numbers, you'll find out that black women, white men together have more success. And black women are usually safer with white men. And I'm not saying because we're better. No, I'm just saying that because of our culture and our beliefs, and we still have traditional values. We're losing them, but we still got them. So the way to salvage that, in my opinion, is open up our options to black women. But anyway, but that's my beliefs. Now, you guys got to hear me rant for, let's see, 2 hours and 18 minutes. You got to hear me talk and listen to videos. %99 of the time, black women who help you out. You know what? Black women have helped me out my whole life. Black women have shown me how to love. Black women have shown me, value in life and relationship and being loyal and committed. Tell you what, I've been in love with black women all my life. And it's not because I was lusting after. No, it's because I seen their character. I seen black women's heart. I seen how black women love. And I wanted a part of it. I had fantasies of marrying a black woman before I started dating. I remember saying my prayers at night. I was asking God to have a black woman for my wife. So when I was swirling, I was looking at marriage. I was looking at getting to that investment. And I got there. I didn't do everything right along the way. Yeah, I was stupid here and there. But it's amazing. But anyway, guys, you got to hear my life story again. But the reason I tell you about my life is to show you that you can open up your options and have an awesome marriage. And in fact, you have a better chance with a black woman than any other group of women. And that's not just for white men, that's for Asian men, other groups of men too. Black men do better with black women than any other group of women. So what's it say? That says black women, your character is what shines. It shows that you are the prize. It shows you're the treasure. You're the virtuous woman. Your value is beyond what you'll ever dream it to be. Was that some whites are already biracial generation? But yeah. There's a lot of swirling going on since time began. Okay? And let me tell you, okay, black women, white men have loved each other through time. There was always a swirl going on. Even in our worst time, they'll say there were Klan members having affairs with black women and having mistress. Yes. We found a way to get together even in our most horrible time in our history. Somehow we found love in between. And you know what? When we get it together and do it right, just think how powerful we'll be. And maybe I should do a live on that, the secret Swirl Society. Because when I look at my legacy and how I came to be, when I look at, see, there's legacy, there's a blood legacy, right? You got your family generations on down, and they pass their DNA. But I have a spiritual legacy. And it comes from coming together. Black women, white men. Back when it wasn't allowed, people were doing it. Back when you had to do it in secrecy. And that's what I call the time of the secret Swirl Society, when people would come together because the law or, society would not allow them to be in a relationship, be in a marriage. And people say that, well, white men always had access to black women and, slavery, that was a thing that the plantation owners took advantage of that. But the common white guy didn't have access to black women. It wasn't allowed. You would be shamed in your community. You would be looked down on. The laws didn't allow white men to be with black women. Did they do it? Yes. They did it secretly. There were white men through time that would live double lives. And wealthy white men, they could do it because they have resources. They would live a double life. There was a story I did of this guy that was famous. He was he actually had ties with the president. He was a wealthy man. He fell in love with a black woman and portrayed himself as a black man so he could marry a black woman. And what he would do is he told her that he had a job working on his train as a porter on a train, because black men did that back in the day. And there was a thing, the one drop rule thing. If you had any black, they didn't consider you white. Even if there were people that looked like me that had like 1 or 2% black, and they would, find out, and they would just say, nope, you're black, because, they wanted you to be purely white. So he posed as that to marry a black woman. He had children with her, and later on in life, she found out, but they had a life together. He had to live a double life. There are men all over that would be married to a white woman so society would see them the way they want to, but have another family with a black woman. That was a common thing. I remember my mother-in-law told me that when she was growing up, that there were biracial kids that she played with, that black women that had white men that were mistresses, and she would say, gosh, I feel sorry for white women. I'm like, what? Why would you feel sorry for white? You went through segregation. You were treated as a second class. Why would you have sympathy for a white woman? And she says, well, white men would, have their wives, but have black women as mistresses and spend more time with the black woman. And the white woman's heart would be broken. She had compassion. And I know that sounds horrible, that a man would have two families, right? But think about it. When the man wants to be with a black woman, but society says no, he's got to do it secretly. And I hate to say this, but if I was caught up in that time, I would be living that secret life too. I'm just fortunate to live in today where I could do what I want. But back then it wasn't like that. But there's been cases of that. And people would, I heard an interesting theory the other day that said the reason why groups like KKK were created was to get black men away from get black men out of the way so white men could access black women because of society. They couldn't openly. Well, I don't know. It's interesting because I don't know. I don't think it was designed for that. I think it was just they didn't want black people getting power in the South, and I think political power, because after the Civil War there was a lot of black people that had political power, and they didn't want that. But at the time, so I think a lot of white people that were in that, when I say KKK members had affairs with black women, I think they were caught up in it. This is just my theory, that they really didn't believe in it, but because it was such a mainstream thing to get along, they just went with it and lived like a double life. Now, that ain't the case for all, but I think that happened more than we would think to know. Clarence King, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly who it was. Yeah. I did a video on that long ago. But he was a white man, and he became a Pullman porter for the railroad. And well, he didn't. He told his wife that's what he did, because it explained why he was gone for periods of time, because he was living a double life. um but there were white men that did that so they could be with black women. White men have always loved black women through time. So these people that say that white men don't like black women, they're lying. They're full of crap. White men have always loved black women. And there's always been black women that love white men. I mean, the swirl is nothing new. It happens more now because society finally allows us to be with who we want, but it's always been a thing. And it's going to happen more often now. We can talk about racism, white supremacy, and all that, but we're going to come together. We're going to procreate with each other. We're going to marry each other, and we're going to become a biracial nation. It's going to happen. And people, instead of fighting it, just accept it. Let people be with who they love and just let it go. I really don't care how dark or light my grandchildren are. I don't care. I just want them to be happy, successful, and live a good life. Moses Zipporah, aka, was biracial. Well, wasn't Moses' wife, one of his wives from Ethiopia? Didn't she have like hair of wool and skin like velvet? There was some biracial marriages in the Bible, and God allowed it. Just like God's allowing it now, there's nothing wrong with it. People try to say, well, the Hebrews, God told them when they go in the promised land, stay away from other groups of people. Yeah, because they were idol worshipers, because they weren't right with God. They weren't. So he didn't want them to be influenced the bad way. But they try to spin that stuff. But anyway, let me go ahead and close this down. I just wanted to talk about this, and look, just look at what's going on, and when you see something, try to find out the truth behind it. A lot of times we'll just believe what people tell us and just go with it. And sometimes, a lot of times, things we think is true is actually not. you know. But anyway, guys, I hope you got something out of this. I did. I just, I look at the world and how people think, and I try to understand it. I don't have to agree with it. I try to see where people are coming from, why they believe the way they do. There was this woman on TikTok that was saying that, white people mask their white supremacy by being kind. And I wish I could download that video because I wanted to, go into that. And, she was saying that's a symptom of white supremacy, that being kind to others. So you hide your white supremacy. And I'm thinking, can it just be that they're just kind people? Does there have to be a agenda behind their kindness? And people can be nice to you and stab you in the back, sure. There could be people that are white supremacists be kind to you, and then when you least expect it, take advantage of you. But usually people are just being kind. But anyway, I wanted to bring that up. And look, when I say open up your options, don't worry about what people think. Don't base it on race relations, because you know what? People are corrupt and we're always going to have problems. Be with who treats you the best. Be with who loves you. Okay? This is your life, your relationship, your marriage. You do it your way. Don't do it the way other people think you should. That'll just take you on the wrong path. You will never be happy, and it won't work out. You got to follow your heart. What's best for you is different what's best for me and somebody else. Love yourself enough to get the best option. Love yourself enough to put yourself first. That's what I did. I'm happy. I got what I want. A lot of people in life didn't get what they want. A lot of people, I talked to so many people, white men, black women, that are upset because they had an opportunity, but because their family or their friends said, no, it'll never work out. Nobody, society won't accept it. Now they're heartbroken. And some of these people are up in age and said, you know what? I had that opportunity. That black woman really loved me and I didn't. And I cut it off because some people in my family or my friends thought they didn't want me to get hurt. So I listened to them. Now you're hurt. People told me all the time, don't do it. You're going to get hurt. I don't want to see you get hurt. Oh, yeah, Sandy, she's a nice woman, but it'll never work out. What will your kids do? What? They won't know whether they're black or white. I was like, shut up. Fast forward, 30 years of marriage. All our kids are college educated. They all have degrees. They know exactly who they are. But if I would listen to them, I would have married some Becky and not been happy, desired to be with a black woman, but was a white woman because society said I should do that. Then I would be messed up. And then I probably would cheat because my heart wouldn't be in it. And I mean, come on. But unfortunately, people let others influence their life. Because you know why? People are afraid to get out of their comfort zone. People are afraid to take that chance. And people are afraid to live their life the way they want to. So many people believe that things aren't that good things won't happen to them, that it's always going to suck, that they're always going, something's not going to be right. If you fall in love, it's got to be painful and hurt, and you got to be cheated on and try to work it out and come together. No. Mm-mm. But people accept stuff like that because they believe that they're not going to have a good life. They think they might live a good life, but there's always going to be something wrong with it. And a lot of times when you show people love, they get afraid, they get scared. A lot of times black women a white man will show them love and respect, and they don't know what to do. And they've never felt that. And they think it's a lie because there's no way this guy can really love me that much. There's no way. And they turn them down because they don't believe it. I'm serious. There are white men that do that too. Oh, it ain't going to last this great while it lasted, but what will mom think and my cousin Eddie, they don't want me to get hurt, and oh my God, come on. They always use that. Oh, I don't want to see you get hurt. Those of you that have been in an interracial relationship, how many times have you said, hey, I'm not against the interracial thing, but I don't want you to get hurt. I'm not against it, but it's not going to work. People won't accept it. Well, hell with people. Why? I don't do things so people can accept it. I do it because that's what I want to do. I'm with my wife, Sandy, because I love Sandy, and she's my wife. I'm not with her because the community or my town approved of it. Most people didn't approve of it because they bought into this segregated mindset that we have to be with who we look like so we can reproduce ourselves, so we can have kids that look like grandma and grandpa and be as pale as I am because that's what we do. And black people, same thing. Oh, we got to have black babies. They got to be dark black like me, and they can't be biracial. Then you just marry people because they look like you. And I see these jokers out there. Oh, well, white people are dying off. We can't be mixing with others because we'll disappear. Oh, well, we disappear. Bye. Yeah, I hear black people like, yeah, white people are dying out. They will never, no, our DNA will still be here. There will always be light and dark people, regardless of how many times we procreate with each other back and forth over and over. The genes don't die. The DNA lives on. Your kids might look different. They might be dark in your life or vice versa. I'm just saying. I mean, people are worried about the dumbest crap. Well, there's less people being born. Yeah, because things are more expensive, because we live in a fast-paced world where we got to make money and we don't have time for a family, so we only have 1 or 2 kids. Where in the past we'd have 15, 20 kids to work the farm because we needed people to help with the farm. The world's changing. Nothing's wrong with our reproduction. It's just we're choosing not to have children like we used to because of economics. I don't know about you, but I love kids. I got 3 children. I mean, I almost lost my wife with my youngest daughter. And, if she had healthy pregnancies, I would have had more kids. I just would. I love children. I love family. I look at family as a blessing. My kids are a blessing. I had to sacrifice for them. I had to make sure they have food, clothing, shelter, make sure. I mean, I spent a lot of money on my family, but you know what? It's worth it. It's a blessing to see my daughter at Arizona State get her master's degree. That was powerful. That was amazing. You don't think that was an emotional time? You don't think I was thanking God? I was amazed. To see my son put on his sergeant stripes and move up in the NCO ranks, and I'm like, it's a blessing. To see my daughter, going for her nursing degree and making, good grades and doing it. That's a blessing. There were times I didn't know how I was going to pay for all this, how it was going to work. Somehow it worked out, though. But that's what it's about. It's about family, legacy, moving on. We're not just passing our DNA, we're passing our spirituality, our values, our love, that's what it's all about. But anyway, I love you guys. And, I just want to do this show and just hit some things that are going on. Sometimes it seems silly, but when you really look at it, it's not funny at all. That we can't, as a society, come together and just love each other the way we should. It's too bad we can't just come together as Americans and say, you know what? We know what happened in the past, but let's build a brighter future. Let's come together. You might not look like me or think like me, but I love you anyway. We live in a world where we point fingers and we're victims and always right. And but but the thing of it is do the right thing. Make sure you do the right thing. Open up your options. Get to know that Black woman. She's amazing. She might think you're amazing too. We're still caught in that segregated mindset that we don't open up our options to other people. We don't get to know other people. We don't even and then we suppress our love for each other because, well, society, it's not supposed to be that way. I don't want to be a sellout, so I'll stick with someone that looks like me and be unhappy. Yeah, that makes sense. But that's what we do in society. It's exactly what we do. But you know what? I'm seeing people open up their options. I'm seeing young kids dating more often. I sit in my backyard on my day off and I see these high school kids coming home from school. And every once in a while I see a black teenage girl with a white teenage boy holding hands, and I think, wow. I wonder, do they have a future together? Are they going to take their Swirl to investment? Are they going to be like me and Sandy one day and pass the torch? And are they going to be part of the group that can swirl to investment and find love and defy the odds and defy society and do it, take our swirl and do it the right way? Or is it just exciting and fun because they're different? I just think about that. Because swirling is exciting. It is. I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was neat. Oh my God. A black woman that I'm dating and she likes me, and this is awesome. It's something different. It's new. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you do it with the right heart and you do it the right way. It's funny that black women and white men in today's world are attacked more than any other group for opening up their options, but yet we're the most successful. Isn't that amazing? But I'm going to be honest. I give most of the credit to black women because black women have that heart. Black women have that emotion, that spirituality like no other woman. Black women have character like no other women. That's why the marriages last. I'd like to believe because us white guys are great guys, but truth be told, it's black women. They're the ones, really. They bring out the best in us. They turn us into nowhere fast to pretty good guys. I'm being honest. You ask me, who's the better half? It's my wife, hands down. Why do I have success that I have? Because of my wife. She brought out the best in me. A black woman will tailor your life like a fine suit. If you open up your heart to her and receive her love, she'll make you better than you ever thought you could be. She'll make you believe you can do things you never thought you could. Black woman's love is powerful. It'll keep you happy. It'll keep you healthy. It'll keep your mind and heart right. I'm just saying. You know, they say that men are healthier that are married. And I've heard people say that women not so much. I'm that sad, but I can believe it. But I give credit to black women. I mean, if I would have stayed race loyal and not dated black women, I'm being honest, I would not be halfway to where I'm at right now. I hate to even think where I would have ended up. But because of the love of black women, I have a future. I was able to turn my life around because of influence of black women that I dated back when I was a teenager, because of influence of black women that showed me love when I was a child, that went on and on. And I'm not alone. A lot of men experiences this. Yes, white men, black men, that black women pour love into. The only problem is they got their eyes closed. They didn't open up their heart fully. I did. So you ask me, do I love black women? Yes. People say, well, you're just pandering to them. You're lusting after them. You're doing this, all this crazy stuff. No, I'm giving love and respect to women that changed my life forever. And that's the least I can do for the blessing I received. I'd love to tell you, yeah, I'm a good man. I did all. No, my wife. She touched my heart. She believed in me. She brought the best out of me. Thank God I chose right. Thank God I opened up my options. Thank God I swirled to investment. And other men out there, you need to think about what I'm saying. Whether you're in your teens, 20s, 50s, 60s, 70s, think about it. There's a beautiful treasure right in front of you that you pass by every day, whether you're in the store, at work. And you know what? I had a discussion with a black guy at work. And we're talking about interracial relationships. And he says, you know what? Yeah, I see your videos, how you talk about black women. It's great. You love black women. But maybe the black women you're around, were privileged, had money. They didn't grow up in the hood or whatever, all this stupid crap. But the truth is it don't matter where the black woman comes from. She could come from the hood or Beverly Hills or whatever. There's something about the black woman. And if she loves you, she'll give you everything she's got. She'll pour love into you like no tomorrow. I don't care if she's an urban black woman or a rich black woman or, a suburban black woman. Man, I didn't grow up in the best neighborhood at all. But I found quality black women there. Just people assume because I live in a good neighborhood that I always have my whole life, that I just have that white privilege where my dad just gave me, inheritance and I just easy street because I'm white. I'm a white guy. No, my parents were teenagers. My dad was 19, my mom was 17, and my dad married my mother because of me. Then my father ended up raising me. And we lived in a rough neighborhood. It was a lower middle class neighborhood. It was, And the crazy thing is, my father moved up. He became a fireman and paramedic. He turned his life around. But he still kept me and my brother in a crappy neighborhood. It was like we grew up. When I was little, we lived in poverty. But then as my father moved up, it was like we went from being in a lower middle class neighborhood, but being an upper class family. Does that make sense? My father's got plenty of money. He can live anywhere he wants, but he chooses to live in the same crappy neighborhood that he bought his first and last house, and he ain't moving come hell or high water. And even though me and my brother have tried to get our father out of there, he won't budge. That's his home, and yeah, he's happy. But I met black women in different classes, different economic situations, and I still find love and respect from black women. So it's not how much money they got. It's not. Craziest thing is I went to the whitest neighborhood to meet my wife, Sandy. Does that make sense? I've been made fun of for years. They're like, wow, you went to the white neighborhood to find a black woman. And I did. It's crazy. But but anyway. But that's just people's thoughts. But you know, I have what I have because my wife loved me and she believed in me. She poured love into me. And she turned my goals into her goals. That's what black women do for you. The problem is we're not opening up to black women and showing them love like we should. No, when I say we, I'm talking men in general that are with black women. White men are being more successful because we're appreciating. Dang, she really appreciates what I do for her. Where Becky and Karen think, oh, well, we deserve it. That's the impression we get. So, yeah, we do appreciate black women because, wow. And they appreciate us because we're not going around calling them queens. We're actually treating them like queens, and they love it. I'm just saying. But anyway, okay, let me go. We're almost 3 hours. Guys, I love you guys. Thank you for being a part of this show. Thank you for your love and support. For me, not just me, but my wife, Sandy, I really appreciate that. You guys have shown me love to my wife, and it's amazing. Some people, to dig at me have attacked my wife. And I'll be honest, most people don't go there, but there's a few that stoop that low. But, you guys, I appreciate you showing me and my wife love, and I appreciate that. That's valuable to me. That means something, and I appreciate that. My wife is my treasure. My wife is everything to me. And my wife's such a beautiful, amazing person. She's never said nothing bad about nobody. I mean, she's just got a loving spirit. She just, she just lives her life and does her thing. And, she loves me with all her heart. She's always there for me. And I love her with everything. She's my life. She's my everything. She's everything I prayed for and more. When I asked God for a good wife, he gave me that and more. And it's blessed me and our 3 children and our grandchildren. And you know what I did? I invested in the black woman, and I won big. Just saying. And you say, well, that's your life, that's your path. It happened for you, but don't happen for everybody. No. But if you look at the numbers don't lie. We do better with black women than any other group of women. When it comes to love, marriage, wealth, happiness, I don't know about you, but I was on to something. I swirled to investment. I didn't waste time. But anyway, let me go ahead and close this. I'll be talking all night. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your weekend. I am going to be having a prayer meeting. I just haven't got a message together. I've taken time off. And it felt good just spending time with my wife. And I tell you, I got some time off work and, been able to sleep in, hug my wife all night and not have to worry about getting up and, you know, taking trips in the car with my wife, going different places. I mean, I just been enjoying my life, you know. Oh, thank you, Noletti. Thank you so much. But if I take a break, don't worry, guys. I'm not leaving YouTube. I'm just not doing it as much. And it's not that I don't want to. I just have to take breaks every now and then. There's been times that I wore myself out so much. One time I passed out in the shower, hit my head, nose was bleeding. My wife panicked, come running in there. I'm sitting there naked in the shower, nose bleeding, and my wife's crying. And, I was wore out and I was working like 12-hour shifts, coming in, doing YouTube and trying to do all this stuff. And then they caught up with me. I passed out in the shower. And, this was a while back, but I slowed down from that. And that's it. It takes a toll on you. Not just the negativity that flows through YouTube and, people's opinions and crap and, but, just going through it and doing the show, thinking about what to say and do and how to make it work. And, it just, but that's my passion. But I had to take a break. I have to rest. And I'm just trying to do too many things, trying to do the YouTube thing, trying to work, working 60-hour plus weeks and then doing this on the side. And then, trying to get my nest egg together. So as me and Sandy grow old, we can live comfortable and not depend on our kids to take care of us. Because I don't want that. I'm retired from the Army. I got plenty of money, but I want to make sure there's more than enough. And it's not greed. I just want to make sure me and Sandy, as we get older, we can take care of ourselves and be self-sufficient as long as possible. As you get old, you don't know what, you can, you might lose your mind. You get, health things come along. You never know. And I don't want to be a burden to my kids at all. I want to live a good life, me and my wife, and leave our children something as we pass on later on in life, But, sometimes you push yourself too much and you got to say, you know what? I love this, but it's not worth my health. It's not worth the stress. It's not worth me scaring my wife thinking I'm injured or something. And I just push myself too much, But anyway, let me go ahead and cut this live off. It's a pleasure being here on YouTube talking to you guys. You are a blessing to me and my wife. Ever since I started this channel, this has been amazing. I've really enjoyed it, embraced it, and I'm going to be here as long as I can be. Okay? I'm not going nowhere. Sometimes I take long breaks because sometimes I want to get out of town with my wife and focus on her. And that's all it is. I know some people saying, "Are you okay? You haven't been on in a while." Yeah, I'm fine. But I appreciate people's concern. I just took a break. But you know, I ain't going nowhere. I love doing this. This is a passion to me, you know. And my goal is to have, I remember when I started, if I could just have 40 people, 40 subscribers, and, you know, at least have 5 people watch, you know, or even 2 or 3 is cool. If I could just have that. And, you know, it's grown bigger than that, bigger than I ever thought it would be. And I know there's other channels that do much better than I do. And that's fine, but it's a blessing that I have what I have. You know, and I appreciate that. And I love you guys for that. And those of you that have been with me since the beginning, I love you. And those that have came, you know, recently, love you too. But, you know, there's some of these ladies been with me since the beginning, through the ups and downs, from when I was making videos in the back room to, you know, and I've developed friendships on YouTube. Me and my wife Sandy have. We you know, most of you I'll never see, but you know, I love you guys. And me and my wife have met amazing people, you know. And you know, and YouTube, it's been a blessing to me. It really has. But thank YouTube streets. You guys have a good night. Let me stop blabbering because I'll go on. And then I'll start getting emotional and, you know, seeing the blessing you guys have brought me. And yeah, I better stop. But I love you guys. Thank you for listening tonight. And, you know, I hope you enjoyed the show. If there's topics you want me to talk about, let me know. You know, this channel is about swirl to investment, but we can talk about other things too. Okay? You know, I'm all about the swirl. I'm about taking the swirl to investment. I'm about interracial dating to marriage. I want to do it the right way, in a spiritual way. You know, I want to connect. You know, I've always loved Black women. I always wanted to connect emotionally, spiritually. Okay? And me and my wife have done that. Oh my goodness. My wife is everything I ever wanted and more. I'm just amazing how blessed I am. I'm very grateful. But guys, have a good night. God bless you and your families. And I'll see you this week. I'll be back up Saturday. Okay, it won't be as early because I got to work next Saturday, but we'll have a Saturday night show. I'm trying to find a day to do the prayer meeting. But you know, I'm still around. I'll be here once a week at the minimum. Okay, Saturday nights I will be here. And most of the time I'll at least have 2 shows a week. So, but anyway, guys, have a good night. God bless you and your families, and I'll see you soon. Okay, have a good night. Open up your options. Swirl to investment.